and that's kind of disturbing for me because I learned so much. He teach me so much about being happy, and what then in the end he struggled with it himself apparently, so I'm not sure what to think of that. Actually I have not written, I don't mean written, I've not read his novels yet. I'd like to do so. I just know him by one piece. It's a commencement speech that he gave in 2005 to the graduating class of a university. And it's kind of a long story. First I thought I'd read it all to you, but I think it's too long. But I'd like to read part of it, and then I'll put the whole speech on my blog, and I'll put a link to it below this video for the ones who'd like to read it all. And I have to warn you, it's kind of a heavy speech. I don't know. It's kind of a wake-up call. I think it's I read it, and I read it for the first time. Well, it's a while ago now, and when I read it, I just started to cry. It was like, oh my God, he is so right, and I'm doing this, and ouch. But then after that, I was really relieved, so I'm going to share it with you anyway. And well, actually, he's just giving this speech to these students who are ready to, to get these working lives. And like I said, it's pretty long, so I'm just going to take a part out of it that I liked. Alright, I'm going to start now. It's just somewhere in the middle of it. By way of example, let's say it's an average day, and you get up in the morning to go to your challenging job, and you work hard for 9 or 10 hours, and at the end of the day you're tired and you're stressed out, and all you want is to go home and have a good supper and maybe unwind for a couple of hours, and then hit the rack early because you have to get up the next day and do it all over again. But then you remember there's no food at home. You haven't had time to shop this week because of your challenging job, and so now after work you have to get in your car and drive to the supermarket. It's the end of the workday and the traffic's very bad, so getting to the store takes way longer than it should. And when you finally get there, the supermarket is very crowded because of course it's a time of day when all the other people with the jobs also try to squeeze in some grocery shopping, and the store's hideously fluorescently lit and infused with the soul-killing moussaka or corporate pop, and it's pretty much the last place you want to be, but you can't just get in and quickly out. You have to wander all over the huge overlit store's crowded aisles to find the stuff you want, and you have to maneuver your junky cart through all these often tired, hurried people with carts, and of course there are also the glacially slow old people, and the spacey people, and the ADHD kids who all block the aisle, and you have to grit your teeth and try to be polite as you ask them to let you buy, and eventually, finally, you get all your super supplies, except now it turns out there aren't enough checkout lanes open, even though it's the end of the day rush, so the checkout line is incredibly long, which is stupid and infuriating, but you can't take your fury out on the frantic lady working the register. Anyway, you finally get to the checkout line's front and pay for your food and wait to get your check or card authenticated by a machine, and then get told to have a nice day in a voice that is the absolute voice of death, and then you have to take your creepy, flimsy plastic bags of groceries in your cart through the crowded, bumpy, littery parking lot, and you try to load the bags in your car in such a way that everything doesn't fall out of the bags and roll around in the trunk on the way home. And then you have to drive all the way home through slow, heavy SUV intensive rush hour traffic, etc., etc. The point is that petty, frustrating crap like this is exactly where the work of choosing comes in, because the traffic jams and crowded aisles and long checkout lines give me time to think, and if I don't make a conscious decision about how to think and what to pay attention to, going to seem for all the world like everybody else is just in my way. And who are all these people in my way? And look at how repulsive most of them are, and how stupid and cow-like and dead-eyed and non-human they seem here in the checkout line. Or at how annoying and rude it is that people are talking loudly on cell phones in the middle of the line. And look at how deeply unfair this is. I've worked really hard all day and I'm starved and tired and I can't even get home to eat and unwind because all of these stupid goddamn people. Or, of course, if I'm in a more socially conscious form of my default setting, I can spend time in the end of the day traffic jam being angry and disgusted at all the huge, stupid, lame blocking SUVs and Hummers and V12 pickup trucks burning their wasteful, selfish 40-gallon tanks of gas, and I can dwell on the fact that the patriotic or religious bumper stickers always seem to be on the biggest, most disgustingly selfish vehicles driven by the ugliest, most inconsiderate and aggressive drivers who are usually talking on cell phones as they could people off in order to get just 20 stupid feet ahead in a traffic jam. And I can't think about how our children's children will despise us for wasting all the future's fuel and probably screwing up the climate, and how spoiled and stupid and disgusting we all are, and how it all just sucks, and so on and so forth. Look, if I choose to think this way, fine, lots of us do. Except that thinking this way tends to be so easy and automatic it doesn't have to be a choice. Thinking this way is my natural default setting. It's the automatic, unconscious way that I experience the boring, frustrating, crowded parts of adult life when I'm operating on the automatic, unconscious belief that I am the center of the world and that my immediate needs and feelings are what should determine the world's priorities. The thing is that there are obviously different ways to think about these kinds of situations. In this traffic, all these vehicles stuck and idling in my way, it's not impossible that some of these people in SUVs have been in horrible auto accidents in the past and now find driving so traumatic that their therapist has all but ordered them to get a huge, heavy SUV so they can feel safe enough to drive, or that the Hummer that just cut me off is maybe being driven by a father whose little child is hurt or sick in the seat next to him,